please.
Hello, Capricorns. If you'd like to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. My name is Steph. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. We are going to scry your bookmark, and we're going to scry for shapes and symbols that may speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We'll add on some tarot and oracle.
Jim.
And where Mr. Ghosty here is, as you've been hearing, we have GhostTube for any audio additions from the afterlife that may further add to our auric adventures. Overall, please do receive a release freely. And a moment to say thank you for being you, as your time, awareness, and attention, your presence, and perspective is powerful. Gratitude. When you're ready, let's go. Capricorn, if you'd like to take a moment to open up with me, or you can fast forward through to the reveal, whatever feels good to you. Taking a nice deep breath. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception. Releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of the Capricorn Collective, thank you for being my muse, and may you meet a message with meaning. All right, there you go. Capricorn, you know the drill. If you see, sense, or feel anything, please feel well to comment below. Drop an emoji. Any interactions with the channel is appreciated. I'll put the link below to the shop if you are interested in other bookmarks, but they're all one of one, so...
Hide now.
All right. It's funny that you say hide now, because I'm kind of getting the impression there's all these, especially this eye here. It's bringing me into an owl, a moth owl. So hybridize the sight of an owl and a moth. If there is anything, anyone, or any energies in a Capricorn's aura that I'm in a predator and prey situation. And Capricorns you may have given someone something, whatever this may be for you in any channel, the grace for them to feel confident in being a predator, wanting something, needing something in your energy. And I'm not trying to use predator in such a primal way, but it has a primal intent behind it. Capricorns have been watching for a very specific time. Where, how do I say, the unseen is seen, because they have been watching owl and moth. Owl and moth. But there's something specific about timing before... Okay, I'm not trying to feed any sort of egos. This could even be within the self, if I may, where I feel as though being perched for perspective allows me to see many things, Capricorn. And timing can be something, not everything, but something. When a falcon or any sort of bird in the water dives down from air to water.
Why are you here?
That's the question that is met when the owl and the moth, who is able to see differently, slightly differently from whatever this pretending predator may be, that Capricorn has allowed them to feel comfortable to kind of like watch them. The way I'm seeing it is imagine a fairy tale, and somebody's going through the fairy tale, going through the forest and meeting these people. But it doesn't have to be a villain, but Capricorn, maybe you understand the feeling of being a villain, but you're not. And I think that that's holding that space to know that I'm not a villain, but I am responsible. If this fairy tale land was your aura, your kingdom, I gotta write that down, then that's what you are responsible for. And you keep a watchful eye on that. And there is I wanted to say perfect time, but...
Killed.
There's a time where it meets, and Capricorn meets those things and says, who are you? What are you doing here? What is it that you want? And I think that you might be getting rid of a lot of things. Characters. Even if these characters are being killed off, like in a show. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they release those characters. They can always come back in a different form. They might be a ghost. They might be in a dream. They might be a reflection. And then you can go into like a soap opera. And it's like, oh my goodness. Some grand resurrection in a soap opera. And somehow this character comes back and it's their twin. And this is what it feels like, all from right here. There's something about fury, but it's a very heightened frequency, because I feel as though you might have tolerated even own characters in your mind. So there are 2 Grim Reapers here at a campfire. So here's the thing with these Grim Reapers. This is a paint pen, so I got to be careful. This is just like, anyway. These Grim Reapers, there's like the one sickle. It's like a talking stick. Is it the sickle? Was a talking stick, and they're talking to each other, but they are supported by light. Okay, so if Grim Reaper is associated with the dark and death, there's light and life reapers. Maybe it's more like a reward system. Rewards and risks. Rewards and risk. I cannot say that. That's hilarious. See this character? It's very, very old in here. Oh, hold on a moment. There's a part of me that I'm feeling, whatever this ancient energy may be. I have been cleaning out my emotional plumbing, like CLR or something like that. And it's like I can see this thing munching through this diamond-like space. It's like if anyone, including yourself, Caps, put you in a box, or some concept put you in a box, it's like turn it, I'm not mathematically inclined, whatever degree, and it becomes a diamond. The box becomes the diamond. But there's something I've been having to clean out because of it. So, and then there's
a ghost.
You are love, but that you're still very, very much so alive. As it's like munch. It could be inner child. It could be a solemn part of you. A worry. Feels like a worry. And I'm holding on to the same substance. Now I feel like I'm in like ethereal emotions, not earthly emotions, not even energetic emotions. And again, not even qualified. You could be like, those are all the same things. It's not my concern. It feels more ethereal or plasmatic or quantum-y. I don't know. Pick a word outside of my verbiage. And I'm holding on to it because that becomes like a crystal ball where, if I may, that crystal ball or mirror or sphere of self, soul, something or other, possibly even an orb of others. Go back, if you may, with me to the beginning-ish when I was talking about the fairy tale land, and there's usually like a king or a queen looking into a mirror, right? Show me what's going on. But that's what that thing is. And it grows and it grows and grows along with your intention. This doesn't feel like paranoia. This feels like strategic sight lines. Of responsibility for my kingdom. I don't know how else to say that. Now, I'm also seeing from that one fairy tale, you know, very typical villain. There's this, you know,
I'm confused.
innocence is usually depicted. Now, maybe that's been you at certain points, and you're overseeing this, you know, all seeing kind of auric eye, your adventures through growing. I'm just going to say growing. And every tree, seedling, flower, mulch, town, people, characters are placed there for you to have certain interactions that will heighten possible aspects to be absorbed into or to be removed. I'm also seeing from that space, thank you, there's all these rabbit holes opening up, and I'm just going to keep going with it. You have the power to pause, replay, revisit. Imagine like being in a sci-fi show, and they usually, like in the ship or whatever it is, there's like this
Down there.
big thing in like the, I don't know where they drive it, and they can see the whole world, the whole map, the whole, and then it can like whoo, whoo, and they seem to be able to do things up here, you know what I mean, like like it's holographic, and they can see all of space, like Lost in Space or something like that, and zoom in, and they can zoom out, and sometimes it doesn't do that, and it stays in this circle. There are movies and shows that I'm seeing, but it's happening so fast I can't. And maybe sometimes that's what it feels like. Things are happening so fast. Growing is happening so fast. When as an earthly nature, to see a tree grow, even in like if you planted a tree when you were, you know, maybe your family did when you were 10, and now you're 40, and you're like, wow, look at this growth. But it took all those years, and it may seem so slow, and then just boom, one day. And then it's larger, and then what's gonna be there beyond you, like when there are people, places, or things that plant trees or flowers, whatever the case is, knowing they may never see them come into full fruition on their land, property, or park, but it's for the strength of moving forward, maybe for your children or for what you can't perceive of yet. I'm sorry, Capricorn, I'm all over the place, but I'm not all over the place at all. I will hold a very strong boundary when I come in.
Tunnel.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I will hold a very strong boundary. And sometimes that might feel, I'm going to grab you a shaman. Sometimes that might feel, it infuriates others when you hold a boundary because somebody's not getting what they want. And I feel like to some degree or another, you might be very comfortable with not getting what you want. Capricorns. Hunter of Dreams. And now this is like the depiction of going on this journey, this adventure in the fairy tale. Okay, so the other way I saw that too was thank you. Let's put you, me, I in there. And while there's this all-seeing kind of like security of who's in your forest or your kingdom, a portion of you is on this. And I'm seeing it like in video games when you're playing and you're seeing like the road ahead, but up in the corner, there's a map. And this map can expand and become the whole screen. Check in with your supplies, check in with your accomplishments, check in.
Am I a ghost?
You are a ghost, love, but you're very, very much so alive. And this is the Grim Reaper and the Light Life Reaper chatting. Grim Reapers have light and love too. I don't know if that's... Something's coming unbind in the cave of ice here. I feel like I need to... I'll see, my thing's already running out. In the cave of ice, it's something that's becoming unbound from a spell, or... Because I'm seeing it like a freezer spell. And if part of you felt frozen. It could be emotional depression, melancholy, lack of control, or again, but then I'm in, suddenly that reminded me of lack, the belief in lack. And it brought me into the sacral. Am I on a sacral journey or something about your sacral space?
Grandmother.
In the cave of winds here, I don't know what this feng shui card is. Oh, I think it's a fish tank. Water features, 11, which is all this. This is this water feature here. It's like somebody trying to use a saw to cut a log, an earth element, an expression of, and they're using it to cut water. But it's ice. That's why it makes sense, because it didn't make sense. Hunter of dreams. And then I'm also hearing, don't go chasing waterfalls. That might be somebody else's opinion or opinion of yourself in your cave of winds. It's what you're talking and saying to yourself. What can or can't be done. And then I'm seeing a sign somewhere along the lines that says, do not enter. I feel like Capricorns might be holding back a bit. In relation to some sort of face-off situation, I don't. Okay. Cave of Hearth Fires. If I didn't say so already, Caps, as well, I'll flip it and we'll, if you want to come to the Extended Explorer with me. The link will be below if you want to join us in the Secret Tarot Society. We have fireplaces, perfect, in the Cave of Hearth Fires. If you want to take a screenshot so you can read it, if that's a real thing. It's an archetypal symbol of comfort and safety and can be one of the most welcoming gathering places in a home. It can also be too much of a good thing when it appears to be consuming a room, to balance the overabundance of the fire element. For some, you might feel like you don't have enough fire, or it's almost like erratic. How do I want to step into this? So I've wandered into a village. I'm here. I've wandered into this village. And some of you might be fire talkers with a talking stick. You can speak to the fire element. It responds. The smoke, the flames, the embers, the sounds, all these sensations. I'm back in like that fairy tale land, but put your earthly experience there, even your emotional experience, but it would move like water through a canal or channel. Like it's like somebody is littered in your water reservoirs along the way. But something precious is contained. Remember we were talking about that box, and it's like suddenly if this box of this aquarium is really the diamond. And so, but something's contained because it's special. These fish are special. They're worth protecting to have this environment. But sometimes it might feel like to a Capricorn, it's like this, you're outgrowing the aquarium. And it's like you're trying to tell the version of you or whatever this may be, your boss, your partner that's feeding and putting I love you and adore you and have helped create this sacred space for you to exist in. And you're like, I'm trying to send you a message. Can you get me a bigger tank? Can we go into the water? I don't know if it's a saltwater fish, whatever this may symbolize. It's like, please let me grow bigger. Could even be you, right? Holding yourself back a little bit for one reason or another. I'm rolling around in that fairy tale land, this kingdom. It's your king. It's the Capricorn kingdom. It's the Capricorn kingdom. And you're welcomed in, right? And it's like, come in, Capricorn. Sit by the fire, warm your hands, have something to eat. Please let me nourish you. Tell me the stories of your journey. and have a rest, and then you can be on your way. Like, they are these little pit stops of receiving. And then other times you're like, you can just feel like they want something. I don't know what it is, right? And it's those people that it's your discernment to be like, hello, just, come on in. And you're like, no, thank you, I'm just looking for directions. And they're like, but no, come on in, sit. And they're very forceful. It's, no, you come in, you sit. And you're like, no, I'm just passing through, or I'm trying to be polite. Thank you. Just a little sip of water would be good, or coffee. But it's like, no, you must sit here and tell me everything. And you're like, but this isn't the time. And I would like that to be heard and felt and respected. That's how I feel about that. All right, Cappies. Where are we going? We're heading over to your Cave of Rivers. This is the Hearth Fires. And then this is your Cave of Earth. See, I probably shouldn't have done all that, but there it is. It is what it is. Cave of Rivers for Capricorn. There's conversations happening. Okay, very specifically, interesting that the sacral, and it's like having your sacral bow and the end of it's on fire. You know how, like, when you would see wars in shows or whatnot, and they light the end of their arrows on fire? So that's really sacral and solar plexus, which is like melting this, which is gonna, if not, what this is, this sacred environment that's worth protecting. While your heart's warming up to something, Capricorn, what? Cave of Rivers. Your throat, heart, and root, and your crown. Forgiveness in the Cave of Rivers. And here's the fun thing about forgiveness. Whatever that means to you. How does that look to you? When you forgive someone, what does that look like to you? That's a platform. Okay, no, not that one. That speaks to your whole self. Dangerous. Of what will be received. Doesn't have to look the same as Capricorns, this or the other, but there's you know. There might be something about a mother and a daughter relationship, or two siblings, male or female, but energies, but feminine energies expressed. Now, forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean there is, and we're back to normal. It's a frequency, and I feel like it can be frustrating sometimes. Grimm's talking, light talking. Hunter of Strength is coming through in your Cave of Earth. What we would like to walk and talk to. That's how I'm feeling that. Because the way I'm seeing it is I actually want to turn it here. It's as though, say, this is the density self and this is the higher self. Even like from that all-seeing eye or observer or your God, whatever God might mean to you, your greater observational device or deity. And there's a shield. But this density version of Capricorn has, I don't know if you can see it in the shading or the coloring, has the purple, the higher self, at the back of the head and at the feet. It's like that's how you magnetize towards things that really are for your highest good. Also, your higher, I'm going to say higher self, but again, please insert whatever. So while the crown, but it's all at the back right now, the crown and the feet, the heels and back of the head have magnetic points to this purple-like frequency. So apply crown-like frequency, whatever that would mean to you, perhaps to your kingdom. But at the front, it's plugged in. It's actually between chakras. It's between them. Before I let you go, when I was talking about being in that video game and then a map comes up, I'm seeing this as a triangle. That if you've ever played video games, it does like that weird movement, like, because that's where you're going, or like on a GPS.
Jason.
And it's like, you're going this way, and then this way, and then this way, then this way. I think they're along the way I'm feeling it is I've had to reserve or hold back, but even reserving feels like I'm holding back in regards to some sort of direction. Even though I feel like I could say when I was initially here, somebody else observing me, but I'm still observing that somebody else, so that might be in effect. You've always been pursuing your dream or what, doing what you want to do. And, Caps, I feel like we're here in a safe place. And while that might be a way to perceive such, it's limited. It's like, well, Capricorn, you've always been doing what you wanted to do. You've always been pursuing what interests you or what you want to try or whatever calls to you. And yet a Capricorn's like, but not to the extent. Not to the extent. And then I come into a little bit of fury again because something's frustrating me. I'm going to forgive myself for holding myself back as well. I'm going to take personal accountability. I also want to note, before I let you go, Caps, and head over to the extended, I'm at the fireplace. You're rude. I'm at the fireplace, and like, imagine all the bricks. Like, the fire's here, but it warms and then radiates the bricks. Or the oil heats up, and then it radiates through the metal. There's something about the radiate. And now I'm seeing it's like, and the farther away you get from the fire, the cooler it gets, but you get to decide on the temperature. Karen. Then there's all this water. It's like, like those sleep number beds, and it's like, or turning up and down your hot tub, or comfort. Something about comfort. I want to feel safe and secure enough in whatever shape or form before it's like coming in, going through the mind and my emotions, warming up, having these
chakras.
Frustrations and frequencies of forgiveness and all that kind of good stuff, but to receive, know when I'm being called by, I don't know how else to say it. It's like there's just something in the sky is the best element I can say, Capricorns, as I'm like chomping my way out of some emotional container. Very clearly, my higher self and my human self are working together. I'm going to head over to the extended cups. If you're going to join me, link is below. 2 ways if you want to visit us in Vimeo or join us in the Secreter Society. See, spicy. Like, if there's there's a stubbornness, I suppose. I'm a fellow Cap, so that's cool. But other people might be stubborn too, and that's something you got to think about. Is that a reflection of us as well, right? Of oneself. If people don't hear your no, no thanks, I'm going to carry on, and there is an emotion activated, guilt, failure, most likely it's negative if it sticks in your craw and ignites a fury. But I hear the way at least it's happening is I might hear that and I know my fury and I light that into empowering my passion. Even if this entire time the journey is in finding said passion. What makes me passionate? Maybe it's I know passion from one limited perspective and I'd like to know more of it. I'd like to know more of it. Okay, I'm going to head over. So much love.